What's good? What it do? What's poppin'? King Eugene in the building. I got fired on my day off. Part 2.
3G, 3G, 3G. Yeah. I do what I do. I do what I do. You do it through me. 3G.
Alright, so before I get started, if you haven't seen part 1, watch part 1 first before watching part 2. Because I'm not finna go into everything that I went into about on the first video. But I will say, when I got fired from my job on my day off, mentally, I was already done. Like, I was already over the job, I was over the opportunity, and I was over the situation. With that being said, that's not the way I wanted to leave. That wasn't part of the plan. That wasn't the goal. But one thing about me is, when I'm done with something, when I'm over something mentally, it's not really much anybody can do at that point. And I'm just better off moving forward. But let's get into what happened after I got fired. So, as I said, I wanted to leave. I was ready to leave. So once I did leave, I wasn't in a rush to jump into another job. I kind of took my time, was doing some side things. We were selling furniture. We were doing things like Uber Eats, like little side jobs and side things. Now, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, the furniture was going pretty good, but the Uber Eats was actually going pretty great. So anybody who's working Uber Eats, or if somebody says they're working Uber Eats or something like that, don't knock them. Because we was making at least $1,000 a week doing that alone. And that's more than I've made at some of my jobs, at some of my other jobs. So that's nothing to be slept on. So I was doing that for a while, doing this for a while. And keep in mind, the job that I got fired from, my wife was working there too. We was working at the same job. So I ended up leaving the job. She left about a month or so later. And that's when we began selling the furniture, doing the Uber Eats together, and doing things like that in the meantime. So everything was fine. We're doing our thing, making money, paying our bills. And we were making enough just off the Uber Eats alone to really take care of our bills. But it was a lot of riding around. It was a lot of moving, going to and from, all these different things. So an opportunity came up after a few months or so. I'll say about 4 or 5 months or so of us doing our own thing. We found a job that was hiring Monday through Friday. Great schedule. The funniest thing is, it's a similar job to what I was doing when I got fired. Same type of job, a call center job. Before I got fired from my previous job, I started off like most people who work at that job. I was taking phone calls, then I got promoted to another position, then I got promoted to the trainer position. All within that time at my old job. And it took about a year or so for me to go through that process. So, we're at another job, a similar job. Me and my wife are working together. Everything's going smooth. Taking the phone calls. Now, of course, after a month or so of taking those phone calls, I was already over it. My wife was over it too, but I was more so over it. So, within that same job, there's different departments. So there was a department that don't take phone calls. They do like back-end stuff, all these other things that they do. They listen to the phone calls that the people taking the phone calls are taking while doing other objectives as well. So that department was looking for a person to apply. So my wife was going to apply, but I told her the phone thing, I just couldn't do it no more. I was over it. I was burnt out. I was ready to leave. So I applied for that other position in a different department, and I ended up getting it. So about my 3rd month or so within the job, I was transferred to that department. And then about a month or so later, they were looking for somebody else. And then my wife joined me in that department. So now we're both at the same job. We're no longer taking phone calls. We're in a different department. Everything's fine. Everything's going great. And then my wife gets an opportunity to work from home, which is something she's been wanting to do since before we even went to that job at all. She wanted to work from home. So as we're working together, she gets that opportunity to work from home. Don't got to leave nowhere, making more money. So of course, she did her thing. She went to work from home, making more money. She's comfortable. I was good. I was no longer taking phone calls. So everything was copacetic. And then a few months passed. I'm still at the job, doing my thing. I ended up getting employee of the quarter while I'm at that job, doing my new position. So everything's going great at this time. Great schedule. You know, I've learned the job. I'm doing great at the job. Everything's going smooth. Then a few months pass and the trainer opportunity becomes available at the job that I'm at now. And keep in mind, when the trainer position came up, I didn't even recognize it because I wasn't looking for any other position or trying to make any moves. I was pretty much content where I was at and everything was fine. But it was mentioned to me by someone, asked me to apply, thought I'd be a good fit for the position. So I applied for the trainer position at my current job. And I got it. I got the position. And the craziest part is it's been a year. I've been at this job for a year and I got promoted to the same position that I was in at my previous job before I got fired. So I'm saying all this to say, when we're going through life, when we're doing things, going through life, it may seem like at times all the work and the effort and the time that we're putting in, it may seem for nothing because we're not getting the results that we want, or we're not seeing the results that we want to see. And I'm just here to say, just keep going. Stay consistent. Be who you are. Don't change who you are because of the circumstances around you change, unless you're changing for the better. Now, I could have had a nasty attitude. I could have been upset. I could have been mad. And I could have stopped being who I am when I got to my new job. I could have just said, forget it. I'm just going to just be here and do whatever and act however I want because of whatever this. But I feel because I didn't have any animosity, I wasn't upset at my old job, I actually understood why they did what they did. And I just decided to move forward and just kept being me. The opportunity came and presented itself again. And I wasn't looking for it. I didn't come to this new job like, oh, I'm finna be a trainer. I'm about to do this. I'm finna move up. I'm about to do all these different things. I wasn't thinking none of that at all. Yet it all came back to me. So, if you have goals, you have dreams, you're focused on something, don't get too caught up in how it looks right now. Keep putting in the work. Keep grinding. Keep putting in that effort. Keep a good mentality. Put your best personality to the forefront. And I'm not telling you within a certain amount of time things are going to happen, but I guarantee you things will work in your favor, one way or another. Because I know that I am a good trainer. I'm good at the position. That wasn't a problem at all. I just didn't follow protocol. I was just doing things my way at certain times. So of course I've learned from me getting fired at my previous job. I took that with me. I took it. I took those blows to the chin, kept it moving, kept being who I am, and God gave me the opportunity back. He brought it back to me. And I'm in a more appreciative mind state, place in my life to where I can step into that role, utilize what I've learned from my previous experiences, and just take it even further. So, don't feel bad because I got fired. I deserved it. And I learned from it. And I utilized everything that I've been through up until this point to what I'm doing right now. I didn't see things playing out the way that they did. Honestly, if you would have asked me if I wanted to go back into the position a month or so or a couple months after I left the job, or after they fired me, I probably would have said no. Because I wasn't worried about that. That wasn't what I was thinking about. But I do enjoy it. I do enjoy helping others learn, teaching others new skills, and helping them to accomplish goals. Help them accomplish their goals, visions, and dreams. So it's not by chance, it's not an accident that God will put me back into the same position I was in before I got fired. And everything aligned itself for me. Without me having to pray about it, I didn't ask God to put me back into this position. Nothing. It just happened. Because it's meant to happen. So be you, do you, be who you're meant to be, and things will go how they're meant to go. When obstacles come, grow and learn and utilize what you learn in your present and in your future, and keep going. Don't quit. But with all that being said, I'm not going to make it longer than it needs to be. If you're feeling the vibe, like and subscribe. And if you ain't, just give us a thumbs up, because that'll work. And I'm out.